Good morning. Well, it's almost noon. Let me get turn some light. How's the bee hunting? Did y'all get those yellow jackets? You wouldn't believe how cold it is here today. But did Steve get stung? That's another one. Nobody got hurt in this video. No, that's good because yellow jackets don't feel good getting stung. Cannot believe it's 20 degrees lower today than it was yesterday. Hey, Vay, how are you? I meant to tell you, I am going to run some of your videos to help you out on some watch hours. Thank you so much. Hey, Miss Southern Belle, good morning. You're eating a sandwich. Well, I'm having my morning coffee. I caught up on a few little errands and I got to hit a couple of live streams this morning. Thank you. Um, and it's raining. It's been raining for a couple of hours. Hey, can you see this? I had to get the warm clothes back out. Um, we're down to 73 today. A couple of days ago, we were like 90. So I had to get the sweatshirt out again. But it's not really a sweatshirt, but it's long sleeves. Oh, you been cleaning, Miss Bell? Yeah, I haven't been cleaning. I've been doing demo on the kitchen. And I've got all the cupboards emptied. I got them all packed up. Everything is ready to start pulling the cabinets out. And um, we've already taken the refrigerator out. So yeah, we're getting close. So for the ones that did not see my video yesterday, I was expecting my washer and dryer, and I actually got a new refrigerator, a washer and dryer, a dishwasher, and a stove. I could not believe it. Oh, thank you, Vay. Um, so yeah, Vay says, yeah, we've been going through the same freeze. Had to wear a sweater when I took Lucy for a walk earlier. Vay, what state do you live in? What region? I'm in Georgia. I'm almost in South Carolina. I'm I'm in the mid part of Ohio, Southwest Ohio. Wow. Yeah, I mean, 73 is cool for us because we've been having anywhere from 84 to 89 in the last couple of weeks. And I got up this morning and it's like, whoo. So I pulled my rain jacket out because I thought, well, if I have to go out, because I got a nanny that's about ready to deliver. Um, Faye's about halfway north of Cincinnati, really. Hey, Claudette, it's nice to see you again. Nice to see you. I'm glad you came back. I know we all get busy. It's hard to catch everybody. Um, yes, yeah. For those who don't know, Gummy Doolittle is actually my blood sister. I have two sisters living. I have a half sister and Donna. Yeah, and she's in California. And what'd you say the weather was in California? I think I missed it. Um, yeah, it seems like it's going to get hot, and then it doesn't. Other than clearing my garden, I've got some blueberries and some blackberries I need to pull out of the garden, but and the elderberry are not ready yet. Hey, the bud files. Good morning to you too. Claudette says I was ill, just getting back to channels again. Oh, I am sorry to hear that, but I'm glad you're doing well again, or getting better. It takes a long time, doesn't it? A couple of weeks ago, now I mean this wasn't illness. I haven't really been ill except for a cold in several years. but I got a flu shot and I got a tetanus shot, one in each arm. I was sick for a week. I mean, not sick, like sick, sick, but I was just felt bad. My arms hurt. And oh my gosh, it's like somebody beat me up. So I got to go back tomorrow and I'm going to tell her if you still got shots to give me, you just hold off a bit because I I did not like that, and I did need the tetanus because a couple of weeks ago I actually stepped on a board that had a little bit of a nail on it, and asked my sister. One time I did step on a board and the nail went all the way through. I was a little girl, went all the way through the ball of my foot, and that's pretty gross, isn't it? But I not only stepped on it, I jumped off of something onto it. So it didn't, I don't even remember it other than I remember my mother taking me up to the gas station. I guess we didn't the old doc, he lived in another town. And she would they soaked my foot in kerosene. Have y'all ever heard of that? But I do remember that because my foot was red and almost blistered from the kerosene. But I didn't get lockjaw. So yeah, I know all about it. So I did need that tetanus shot. It had been almost 7 years since I'd had a tetanus. So I went ahead, but man, it hurt. And I'm not a baby when it comes to shots, but whew. Oh, you never heard of that, Miss Bell? Oh yeah. I guess I mean the old remedies, that's right, the old wives' remedies, Vay. Um, you know, if it didn't kill you, it cured you, right? Because I mean, my mother, she doctored us, whatever it was, she doctored us. And if it was bad enough to go to the old doc, the next town, to us, it was a long ways away, but it probably was not. Hey, Galip, am I saying that right? How are you? So nice to see you and welcome. I believe you're new with us. And if anybody wants to, any of my mods want to drop links to the other channels, please do, because that's how we make new friends. Hey Annie J, how are you? Um, good. Get to the farm. Hey, how are you? I just saw you on a live, didn't I? It's nice to see you. I thought I was going to get close to 1,000 subs, and I keep saying don't worry about it. But I thought, but I'm kind of stuck on this. I had 829 yesterday, and now I'm down to 819. I don't know what happened overnight. I don't know. It's like you can't fight the algorithm rhythms, I guess. Gummy says country life as a child, it has its accidents and adventures. Yes, and Gummy knows she had a terrible accident with her hand. And if you have not seen her video on that, and I only remember a couple of really terrible, incidences of injuries. I do remember when I ran through a bed of yellow jackets, though, barefooted. And I remember the old doc saying, well, if it'd been one more, it would have killed her. I think I had 10. They found 10. They were between my toes. They were on my arms because I was fighting them off. They was on my legs, my face probably. So yeah, they said if it'd been another one, I'd have been dead. So apparently I've built up an immunity because now I raise bees, but that's nothing like yellow jackets. I know yellow jackets hurt really bad, really bad. So yeah, I remember some of those traumatic events, like when my sister got her hand hurt. Oh, you heard put meat, Miss Bell? Yes, red meat. Yes, like you get a black eye, you put a steak on it, right? That kind of thing. Yes. Vase says Linda at Quail Con. We will have a couple that will teach about farm safety. She will be a guest speaker on my live Friday night. Oh, we'll have to go over and listen to that. Um, QuailCon. I've never heard of that. My youngest son, he sells he sells quail eggs all over the country. He ships them, hatching eggs. Um, a couple of years he raised the quail themselves, but it's a lot of work. Hey, it's me, Angie. Nice to see you. So glad you came in. Um, so yeah, that's really good about the farm safety because there's a lot of things that you don't really think about until they happen. Um, it's me, Angie, is your twin, Claudette. She's a sweetheart. Vase says I'm not a mod, but I can drop the links. Okay, you sure can. Um, uh, I will certainly do that because I have a couple, but Miss Bell is here today, but a couple of the others are not. But that's okay. There you go. Yes, my twin Claudette. Yeah, you know who my twin is? Actually, she truly is. I'll have to show you a picture of her one day. My oldest half sister, we took a picture a couple of years ago and we just happened to be smiling the same, looking the same direction. And I took like a little selfie. I was in Texas visiting her. And everybody that sees that picture says, "Oh my gosh, y'all are like twins." We're 18 years apart. 18. And we're half siblings. So our dad is the only thing we have that's actually in um we have in common, other than being sisters, but yeah, so we actually look like twins. And over the years I've had people say, "Oh, you look like someone spitting image of somebody." It's like you have a twin out there somewhere. I guess we all do. Yeah, I guess we all do. Um, it's me, Angie. We're living parallel lives in different countries. It's so cool, isn't that though? YouTube is really a kind of amazing because for me it came along um, during COVID because we were isolated and it was just kind of a way of reaching out. And but a lot of people have been doing it for years. But I know people all over the world. Y'all know people all over the world. Isn't it crazy? I mean, that we can have such close um contacts, and I mean, when we see them in chat rooms and stuff, it's like you're seeing your family. I mean, it is kind of amazing that I wouldn't have ever dreamed that I would know someone in Australia or China or not let's see India, overseas, some of the soldiers. I mean, it's great. Hey Maritza, hola. How are you? I need to learn more Spanish, don't I, Maritza? Or I just need to remember more. Hey, Prep for Eternity, how are you? She's been Annabeth says she's been getting the animals ready for the storm, possible tornado. You know what? Ours, we've had 2 hours. We're possibly going to have hail. Is that not unrealistic? Hail. So it's the same, probably the same front that Annabeth is. We're like 5 hours apart, but we're almost parallel to each other. It's kind of crazy. So yeah, but yeah, it's kind of amazing that we know people from so far away and we can share things, share ideas, cooking, our family life, how to raise animals, different things. Vay says, I am the strange one. I homestead in my one bedroom apartment. You know what? You wouldn't believe there are many people that actually have a channel that have less, some of them only have a balcony. They live in the city and I mean, you make with what space you have, you do what you have. Miss Bell says I have a twin, Marilyn Monroe. Oh, you know what? She was one looker, wasn't she? So we know Miss Southern Belle is a looker. I kind of I do like Marilyn Monroe's early, you know, less intimidating photos when she was, playing. I forget what her name was, her true birth name. But yeah, So yeah, I'm kind of, I kind of like having friends all over. And it's a great way. Hey, John, nice to see you. It is nice to be able um, to talk to family too. My sister comes on here. I have a friend that comes on here occasionally. She may not say anything because she's quite shy, but she lives up in Vancouver, Washington State, and we have been friends since high school. And so we still talk on Facebook, and we have not seen each other in many years, 45 maybe. So, but we still are in contact, and I have very little contact with most of the people that I went to school with or that I know. Um, um, so yeah, I did go to school with somebody that maybe y'all don't know who they were. Many of you know who Buck Owens was. Well, I went to school with his youngest son. We were in classes together, and he had no idea who I was. No idea. And I probably was like, oh my gosh, his dad is famous. And he had a recording studio right across the street from where we went to middle school. But Johnny didn't know who I was. No, it was just one of those things. I liked him from afar. He was a nice guy, though. He really was. Get to the farm. You have 20 acres? Did I see that? You're in Montana. We hear people who say they're going to get 20 acres and raise their own food. Hard to do that here. Yes, there's the short, dry summers, long, snowy winters. Lots we can grow. Yeah, and you would probably be wiser um to use like half an acre. I mean, we have 6 acres plus we have 9 acres of wooded, but the wooded, we don't really do anything with other than hunt. Let's see. I saw something else. Uh, I do know who Buck Owens was. Yeah. You're younger than me. I'm sure it's me, Angie, right? Um, and yeah, Dwight Yoakam. No, he's not Dwight Yoakam's daddy. They were good friends. They met, and Buck Owens was his mentor, and so they were very good friends. But no, his son was Buddy. His oldest son from another wife was Buddy Owens, and he played in his band. But Johnny didn't have anything to do. He didn't have anything to do with the band until later years. Now he does sing, and he sings at the Crystal Palace in Bakersfield. Um, Now he still sings there. Um, but and he runs Buck Owens's ranch from what I heard. So he actually helps run the ranch. And but I've heard him sing, and he sings just like his daddy. My mother actually I think she went to his funeral. She loved Buck Owens, loved it. And we grew up there, and it was just, we listened to his music because he was local. You know how that is. Let's see. um Somebody else that was from there, Bakersfield, was Merle Haggard. So we had some, and we had some others that came that were not quite as popular as Buck Owens and Dwight Yoakam. I love to hear him sing. I did not hit Claudette. I always wanted to go to one of his concerts. I never got to go to his concert. And now Willie Nelson spent a lot of time with all those guys too. I can't believe he's still singing, and his son sounds exactly like him. If y'all did not know who his oldest son, his name is Donna. You have to correct me on that. I think his oldest son is named Lucas, and he sings a song about Austin. Oh my gosh, it's the prettiest song. But when he sings like his daddy. It's kind of crazy. Patsy Cline and Loretta Lynn. Yeah, that was a couple of favorites too, huh? Um, I the only country music person I saw in concert, um, is I saw um, Alabama. I saw them at the county fair in Arizona when they were first starting out, and the only thing we had to pay was the $3 a piece to get into the fairgrounds, and they did a free concert. So that was my first concert I ever went to was Alabama. That was back in the 70s. And let's see, I went to a concert for Sawyer Brown and oh the Queen, one of the Queens anyway, Reba. I went to one of hers, and I don't think I ever went to Alan Jackson. I always wanted to go to one of his, and he's from Georgia. He's a Georgia boy too. Let's see, what did I miss? Love Claudette loves Merle as well. Yeah, he's, these are classic country music. They're not today's country, what they sing today. These are classics. Um, Gummy said yes, Mom and I did. He left most of his dollars to the homeless shelters, women's shelters, and the SPCA. Yes, Buck did leave a lot of money to those organizations. He was a very big supporter of the town of Bakersfield, and but his recording studio was Oildale, which is the little town we lived in, was Oildale, and his ranch was right outside of Oildale, but now it's probably called Bakersfield. But Claudette, yeah, you like Willie too? I did too. He was very different. But if y'all ever look up Lucas Nelson and this, what's the name, Donna, of that song, On the Streets of Austin? It's the prettiest thing you ever heard. I'd play it over and over and over again. It's so pretty. But he does sound like his daddy when he's singing. Definitely, they grew up in that area in Austin. Um, hey, Alwan from Guam, nice to see you. We are dropping links. Anybody drop any of my mods can drop links to any of these channels today. Any. Uh, and one day I am going to go in on Nightbot and set it up so you can just drop a name, and it'll pop it up for you. I could do that and it would make it so much easier on my mods. But I only think about it every time I have a live. And I've already done, got it takes me longer to do stuff like that, y'all. Um, Alwan from Guam is a teacher. You're teaching summer school. Okay. Our summer school started about 2, 3 weeks ago. It ends. It's a 6 week long period, so the teachers don't get much. They don't get a lot of break with the summer school. Definitely not. It's me, Angie. Willie Nelson's the man. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he's in his own man. He never fell into any of those categories. John, yes, Don Rich was also from Bakersfield and he was in Buck Owens's band. And he actually, I forget if it was the 70s, he was on a motorcycle and he motorcycle accident and lost his life. And he was very good. He was a very good band member. And I know that was really hard because we were living out there at the time when it happened. Um, yes, thank you, ladies, um, for dropping all those links. This is the way we make new friends, right? This is the way we share. Alwan says, ours is 3 weeks, 8 to 12. Oh, you only do it a half a day. Uh, Ours here is from, I think it's 12:30, and they give the kids a sack lunch and put them on the bus and send them back home. But they do feed them while they're there, even though it's not a hot meal. It's a sack lunch every day. Every day. AFK, Lucy needs out. Oh, is that your dog? Lucy's your dog, Vay. Um, Alternative school. Okay, Alwan, right. Now, I used to do summer school because I wanted to graduate early. I didn't have to go to summer school, but I thought, well, if I'm not working, I might as well go to summer school and then I'll graduate early. But you know what? I didn't graduate early because I wanted to walk across with my friends, and I just graduated with more credits than I needed. Now, my girlfriend, she went also, but she graduated like in December, and I graduated in May. So she took advantage of it because she run off and got married. Oh, L1, your students are there because they're on probation. They have to be there. Okay. Well, that's a very good um, reason to teach summer school to help those who really do need it. Maybe some of them don't want it, but they need it. Um, we're going to get them their credits. Love where I work. Good, good for you. Yeah, you know, later on, it may not mean anything to them now, but later on, it will mean a lot to them when they try to get their first job. That's right. And you know, if you nowadays there's so many places they won't even touch you if you have not graduated. If you've dropped out of school, they won't even touch you at all. Um, Oh, Annabeth says, I think I'm going to graduate at 17, a year early if everything goes as planned. And Annabeth is homeschooled. So she can work ahead. And apparently she's very interested in school and she's a good learner. And she excelled on her own, you know. She doesn't have to graduate any earlier than anyone else, and that's nice. Gummy Doolittle says Tommy Hayes recently passed away May 13th here in Bakersfield. Yes, Tommy Hayes was he was friends with all of them also, with the I forget what Buck Owens called his band, um, but he had a name for it. Alwan says I will. I tell them the four things you learn in school: how to show up on time as much as you can. Yeah. I mean, being on time. I mean, if you go out there in the big bad world and get a job, they're not going to put up with more than a few times if you're late, especially if you're late and you really don't care. And that's pretty sad. Pretty sad. Gummy Doolittle. Okay, he was 93 years old. That's Tommy Hayes, a big singer for church and one of the last Bakersfield Sound Pioneers. That's what they were called. Yes. Don't forget to hit the button, guys and gals. Miss Southern Belle said, thank you so much. I appreciate that so much. Yeah, the Bakersfield Sound. That's what it was. Um, you know, we may have went to school with them and rubbed elbows with them, but they were just plain old people. The Buckaroos was the Buckaroos is what he called the band back in the 70s. And later on, the what was it? The Bakersfield Sound pioneers. Bakersfield is known for um the pioneers. They had a museum there for the pioneers even. And he was a big part of that. As a matter of fact, they had an arch right near the Pioneer Museum. And Buck Owens bought the arch. It went across the highway. He bought it and took it to his place, which is the Crystal Palace, which is still going. Um, so yeah, the Buckaroos, yeah, Buck Owens and the Buckaroos. When he was on Hee Haw, and you know, he was pretty popular. They were called the Buckaroos then. But later, I think the Bakersfield Sound incorporated all the why can I not talk to the musicians? Not just his band. Our mother was was the nurse for Buck Owens and his parents. For Buck Owens' parents and Buck Owens. Yes. but she couldn't tell us anything about it because, it was illegal to do that even back then. You weren't supposed to. She couldn't tell anybody he was her patient, or and that his parents were really sweet people. Oh, yes, Hee Haw, yeah. You know what? That was a good show, wasn't it, Angie? Yeah. It was comedy, and it was, entertainment. It's nothing like the entertainment you get these days. Back to work, Alwan. Good to see you. If you come back later, you may be able to pick up some new friends from the chat. Uh, yes, Angie, we did too. Hee Haw was like, I mean, even though we were local, we knew, about all these people. Okay, Buck and Merle did not get along because Merle married Buck's former wife. Yes, he did. He married Bonnie Owens. um, he may be still married to her if she's still living. I think she's not living now, but yeah, but they always seem to be in the same. They showed up at the same shows. So yeah, I imagine there was some tension there because he married his first wife, but Merle was married to Bonnie Owens, and that was their first son, Buddy's mother. It wasn't Johnny's mother. He had a different mother. Um, but yeah, Claudette says I remember Hee Haw with Goldie Hawn. Yeah, it was one of her first. Um, that and Hee Haw. It was during the same time that Laugh-In, the comedy Laugh-In. Y'all remember that? Uh, hey, Hillbilly Chicken Ranch. Um, how are you? Good to see you again. Yeah, so I imagine there was some tension about you know, Merle, Mary, and Buck Owens, his wife, and then they shared kids, and so they did have to see each other, I'm sure. Uh, Angie, you remember Laughing? Yes, who could forget that? A lot of those people that came off of Laughing, a lot of the comedians went on to do so well. I mean, they became big stars, and Goldie Hawn, of course. I mean, she was really big. Oh, it was nice to see you, Miss Bell. We're glad you came. Thank you for your support. Later, Gator. What my little one says, after a while, crocodile. Yeah. So if any of you do not know Miss Southern Belle, you can go over to her channel. She does some interesting things, and definitely. So yeah, those are just some of the things that I remember going to in middle school and high school. John says, "Oh, um, where are you tonight? Why did you leave me all alone?" Yes, yes, yes. I searched the world over, and I thought true love. I thought I found true love, but you met another. Hey, I bet that was about his first wife, don't you think? I bet it was. It sounded just like that. Hey, Susan Gotchi, nice to see you. Yeah, we're just reminiscing about old TV shows and the Buck Owens group. Now, someone that my husband went to school with, he doesn't really brag about it, but he went to school with President Bill Clinton's brother, and he didn't have a lot to say about it. But he grew up in Hot Springs, Arkansas, and um, so he actually uh, was in school at the same time. I think his brother was a year ahead of him. But yeah, so that was his claim to fame, is the president's brother. He was a nobody. Nobody, he was in a lot of trouble though, and that's part of his history. But so, he doesn't brag about knowing him, that's for sure. Yeah, I loved Hee Haw. But you know what? There's not really, to me, there's not any comedy shows right now that I even want to see. I couldn't even tell you what they are. Oh, but there's been, I mean, we watch uh real mysteries, crime mysteries. We do watch, some of the crime TV. Um, you know, but I mean, okay, Me TV, we watch some of those old ones, like the Petticoat Junction. These are old hillbillies, the Beverly Hillbillies. Um, but I'll go back and watch those or Andy Griffith, or I'll watch all of those before I watch any local TV at all. Matter of fact, we don't even have cable in this house. We have an antenna. It's me, Angie. Your husband went to school with Britney Spears? Really? Wow. You see, Claudette says you seen Dwight in concert. Oh, that's one guy I wanted to see in concert. Love all his music. I do too, Claudette. I love his music. I just something about him tapping his toe and now when he went on to, do um some TV shows, and it just didn't seem like him to me. It just because he didn't have his hat on, and there was just for years I didn't even know he was missing his hair. And it was just not the same at all. Steve watches Grit. Is that Grit? Is that Western? I haven't had cable in so long I can't remember. Uh, did he? It's me, Angie. She's too young though. Okay. Well, put on a good. Did he put on a good concert? I did go to a concert when I lived in Bakersfield, and it was a. I think this was the only group I went to, and my mother probably thought it was heavy metal or something, but it was called Sha Na Na. Do y'all remember that group? Bowser and Sha Na Na. And I only went to one because I left there and I told my girlfriend, she and I got the tickets. We were in high school, and somebody was smoking something, and we left out of there, and I told her I'd never go to another concert. They were the nastiest smelling things, and I didn't have any idea what I was smelling at the time, but it was a nasty smell. It was all over that concert, and I didn't want to go to any more after that. Never. From then I stuck to the country. I think Reba was the one that I enjoyed the most, was Reba. I loved it. Loved it. But, I just didn't get an opportunity to go too many. Now I did like Sawyer Brown too. I liked their music really well. Claudette has no cable either. No, I haven't had any cable for a year and a half. It's me, Angie. I've seen Ronnie Millsap in concert. You have. Now I liked his music. Those are the ones from the 70s. Um, the 80s, the 70s, those were really that's what sticks in my mind is is that Gummy saw Loretta Lynn and Conway Twitty. You lucky dog. I didn't know you saw them. Um yeah, Claudette, Little Sister and Pocket of a Clown. Yes, yes. You remember that. Get a job. Um They says only TV. I have my computer, no cable, so I use YouTube, Amazon Prime, and Peacock. Yeah, I don't know what Peacock is. We don't have that here, but I am too. If I want to watch a movie, I watch it on my computer, and if I want to read a book, because uh, I don't have any paper books because I'm all packed up in the house right now, but I will put on one of the free audio books on YouTube, and when I can't sleep, I'll put that on and it'll put me to sleep. Then I have to reread the book because I slept through it if it was really good. Conway Twitty, yes, I loved him too, Angie. I did go to Hurricane Hills one year. We went through Tennessee to Loretta Lynn's. We didn't take a tour of her plantation, but we went to her gift store, and she has a beautiful place up there in Tennessee. It was beautiful. Um, so she was one of those queens of country music like Tammy Wynette and Golly. I'm I'm dating myself, aren't I? I was a kid now. I was a kid. Patsy Cline, oh my gosh. Now, that's the first what was the name of that? Leanne Rhymes that could sing Blue. Oh my gosh, just put you to tears. That was the first song I heard her sing when she first started out was Blue. And it's I've always loved Patsy Cline's music too. Claudette says you guys have so many awesome concerts. I need to move to the States. Y'all don't have any concerts up there? Well, in the last few years, concerts have been really bad. Anyway, Peacock. Okay. They dropped the link for Peacock. Loretta Lynn was my grandmother's favorite, Miss Angie said. Oh, yeah. Come on. Yeah, come on, Claudette. You can move in my neighborhood. How about Ray Charles? He was good. He was really good. Um, oh, there was a girl that lived here in Georgia. It was about 30 minutes from here. Terry, not Terry Gibbs. Maybe it was Terry Gibbs. She was blind. Y'all remember her? She lives pretty close to here, and she came. Um, I went to a little festival concert, and she sang. Yeah, Terry Gibbs, I think that was her name. And at one time, her husband was the mayor of the town next to us. So they live in this area. But she quit singing a long time ago. She played the most beautiful music on the piano, Terry Gibbs. But she was blind, and her husband helped her until he passed away. And then her only son, when she goes somewhere, then he helps her and gets her where she needs to go. But she sang beautiful. Claudette said, "I'd love to be in your neighborhood for real." That's me, Angie. Yeah, be like Mr. Rogers. We're all in each other's neighborhoods now, y'all. Gummy says at the fair we used to have a lot of big singers. Willie, Kenny Rogers, Leanne Rhymes, and Taylor Swift when she sang her first song that came out. Cuz Radio, that's Buck Owens is his radio station. They still own it, I'm sure. Played her first song. What about Reba? Did she come to Bakersfield, Donna? Uh, um, Taylor Swift's first I first saw her, I was visiting in California. We were all out there, and our mom uh, wanted to go to Crystal Palace. She set it up, and I don't know, most of her kids were there and spouses. I came from Georgia, and my brother came from Texas, and we were sitting right in front of the stage, and they were just playing. They had a house band, and they were just playing, and then they came out and said there was a young lady visiting from Tennessee, and she would like to play us a few songs. And Taylor Swift came out on the stage. She was 15 years old, had long, beautiful, wavy hair, and she was in her little cowboy boots and a little like a peasant dress, and it was so cute. And she sang for like 45 minutes, and then she went out in the hallway when we left, and I actually stood in front of the table, and she signed a picture for me and put my name on it. And that was the first time. That's the closest I'll ever get to Taylor Swift. But she was such a sweet little girl, and she was singing like Tim McGraw and some of her first songs that she wrote. So yes, I did get really close to somebody. So yeah, I'm kind of awestruck because I knew her, and I didn't pay a dime to see her, only have a good meal, and she was just playing music. And that was kind of neat. And that's the way they do in Bakersfield at that Crystal Palace. If there's musical people in town, um, back then they would ask if they could come up and play a couple of songs and entertain, because they, even when they're not working, they can't give that up because they love it so much. uh that was at the Crystal Palace. Yes, Gummy, that was. Um, Vay says, yes, the internet makes us all neighbors, friends and neighbors. We have sisters from another mother and brothers. And you know what? There's one great thing about it. Most of the people on your YouTube friends that follow you, if you needed something, you reached out to them, they'd be there. They would be there, support you, even if not financially. I'm talking about they would be there to be a support to you as a friend. I would never ask people for money, even if I needed it. I know y'all are like that too. I mean, I see people doing it all the time, but I couldn't do that. I couldn't. I'd rather do without than ask somebody for something that they would be giving up something to give to you. So I couldn't do that. Claudette is in Toronto, 4 hours north. Roy Orbison. Oh my gosh, didn't he have the most beautiful voice? He really had a pretty voice. Pretty. Um, let's see, what did I miss? We asked about what about Reba? Um, let's see. Gummy says I'm not sure if Reba came here, maybe at the Paso Robles. Um, she came to Augusta back in the 80s. It was before her band had the terrible airplane crash where she lost most of her band members. But she came to Augusta. That was when we had some pretty that's where we saw Sawyer Brown and some other big names too. Uh, um, we saw them here, and then they went through a slump where they didn't, I guess they didn't have a good manager for the concert hall, and so we didn't get to see very many good ones for a while. Claudette said, I've seen Peter Frampton, Eddie Money. Oh, you did? Journey. We did the stages for Blue Rodeo in my old town, and we were scaffolding company, so we got the job doing the stages for them. And Jeff Healy. Wow, that is amazing. Peter Frampton and Eddie Money. Oh my gosh. Now that's big time. Wow. Annabeth says, you planting a garden this year? For me, um, I think I will. I've got containers that I can plant in now that my they got my hydraulics fixed on the tractor. That's why I hadn't really been up there cleaning it up or anything. Um, so now I've got to get up there and work on it. But yeah, but I'm eating a little different, so I'm going to plant some things that the family can eat and some things that the animals can eat. Um, I had a lot of tomatoes last year and pickles and cucumbers and peppers, and so this year I'm going to do a little different, and I'm going to plant a good many um the last freeze kind of got them. So we can't count on that. Claudette says, yes, when my son was erecting the scaffolding, he found their contracts with personal stuff, but they had left. So I have them. Pretty interesting. Oh, that's a piece of history, Claudette. Um, when Gummy and I started doing genealogy back in the 80s, and when you find a piece of history that's so unique, I mean, that may not seem like a lot now, but many years down the road, that's going to be interesting stuff for somebody who's following their family. Um, that they were involved in some of that. Hey, I treasured home. Hey, Nancy, nice to see you. Uh, so yes, I am, for to answer your question, I will be planting a small garden. Um, but I won't be planting it for me to eat, but definitely. But I have a lot of chickens still. I haven't had any ducks missing since I put those predator lights up. Nothing has come in. I did make another I made another rescue, which was really 3 animals that needed a home. They weren't mistreated. They were from a very nice home. As a matter of fact, they originally came from here. I sold them as babies. They were bottle babies for this family, and they just, got so busy. This was several years, 3 years ago. And so they reached out to me and asked me if there was any way I could make room for them, that, they were just not at home anymore, and it was too difficult to find somebody to watch them, and sports and jobs. So I did take them back. And so far they're doing really well, and they're very friendly. So, and I know by looking at them who their mama is. Isn't that crazy? I do, by the coloring, and I could go back on my records and look, but I know who they are. I know who their mamas were. So I did pick them up this week. As a matter of fact, I didn't actually pick them up. I let them come. They brought them, and we loaded them in a holding pen. So right now they're in a holding pen so that they can get used to us again, and our other ones. Vase says, I have tomato plants, collard, Swiss chard, snow peas, yarrow, lemongrass, lemon balm, burpless cukes. Those are the best. Nasturtiums and eggplant. I have never eaten eggplant in my life. I've always wanted to eat it, but I've never eaten it. Um, Claudette says, "Oh yeah, I have it in our filing cabinet." Yeah, keep that. Um, I have it's on. I'll pull it out for the next live, but I framed it. It is an arrest warrant for someone, um, not part of my family, but I found it at an auction, but it was actually the paper itself. It was an arrest warrant for somebody, and I'm trying to think. Um, it was during Prohibition. What when they sold alcohol, and they got caught. Y'all know what it's called. It'll say on there, um, selling liquor without a license or something. So, but I'll pull that out. It is so interesting, and it's not just a little piece of paper, y'all. This thing is like, whoa! It's one of those 11. It's like 11 by 8 by 11s. Probably even more than that. Yeah, it would be more than that because you had to fold it over, several times. It was really interesting. And I did try to find the family. I went to the genealogy census, and I discovered the man, who he was. He owned a bar. And I don't know why he got in trouble for selling without a liquor unless it was moonshine. Because back then you couldn't do that. And I followed him for several census records, and then he disappeared. But so yeah, hey, zombie prepper, nice to see you. So I mean, I just love history. I love it all, and I thought it was very interesting. I once bought a Bible. It was a huge one of those big family Bibles. Um, and it was from 1880 or something. And I bought this at an auction. Um, and I had it in my booth. I had someone who always wanted whatever I found in Bibles, they always wanted the Bibles. In this Bible, I remember the family's name was Day, D-A-Y. They were from Tennessee. In the Bible was the family history. There's babies born, marriages, and everything. And one of the babies that was born, I found an envelope with baby hair in it. And then as I went over to the deaths, then I found it was like 3 weeks later, the baby had died. And, it was the most, it was heart-rending, really, and it just gave me chills about, what they went through. And I did everything I could to find this family, or find someone from this family to see if they wanted that Bible back. And I'm sure that whoever had it passed away. There was no family members locally, and they just loaded up everything in the house and took it to an auction company and auctioned it off. And to me, that is the saddest thing, because there was marriages for this baby's family. There was, the grandparents. There was everything. But when I found the baby hair, that just kind of broke me up. But I ended up one of the local, um, um, I guess I don't know if what you would call them, but they bought Bibles. They took Bibles in, whatever anything to do with the Bible. And this was a beautiful piece, and it really had leather on it, and it was in good shape. And so I ended up giving it to them, and it was just, I mean, it was amazing what they kept, and those were true records. I mean, if you've never done genealogy, it was a true treasure. Um, you know, piece of history, but I really wanted to find the family to try to see if they were interested in taking it back, because they may have always wondered, you know, where it ended up, where did the family Bible end up, but I never could. And maybe the person who took it did find out, because they were extremely knowledgeable about research and genealogy. So I'm hoping that they did eventually find the real family. But that's the stuff I like to do. I love the genealogy part of it. Claudette said the squirrels up here but keep eating the sunflower seeds every time we plant them. Then last summer, when we plant over a dozen bulbs, they ate them at night. Oh yeah, they're bad about tulips. I don't know why. They must be really tasty, but tulips are really pretty. Um, my brother in Texas, he planted, like, I don't know. His garden is probably a 30 by 60 garden of just sunflowers. And he only plants them for his bees and his birds. And then he has deer that come in and eat. And he has it sectioned off so that the animals from there's it's like an old wash, a stream where they'll come up the stream. He has it so they can come in that garden. He plants it just for the animals. And he doesn't want to take them away from them. He plants them for the wildlife and the animals. So he has wild hogs in there too sometimes, and those are kind of pests though. uh Annabeth says our internet has been shutting off at random times throughout the day. It has been bad today. I need to go before it shuts off again. Hope everyone has a blessed rest of the week. Enjoy the chat. Thank you, Annabeth, and y'all stay safe. It's coming this way, so we're ready. I've got all my hay covered up. We finally got hay, y'all. um I only was able to get 20 bales, but we haven't had hay in 8 weeks. And the animals are like, oh my gosh, it's like candy. So I can't let them out in the field to, they were eating so much green grass, it was upsetting their stomachs. So thank goodness we got the hay now. But yeah. So you take care, Annabeth. I know the weather is really crazy, crazy. Um, Let's see, where did I need to go back. Vase place. Sunflower seeds and pumpkin seeds are great dewormers. Yes. Um, I have some pumpkin seeds and some of y'all know this channel. It's Homesteader, Wyoming, Arizona. She sent me some pumpkin seeds, and I mean several different kinds, and I'm really I believe I'm going to go ahead and plant some of them, because now's the time to do it. Because we if we don't usually we'll wait till some of the stores have them and they start to showing their age, and they'll sell them for $1. And last year I bought 30, my son bought 30 from the local IGA store. And we gave them to the cows, to all the animals, and they lasted for several weeks just laying out in the yard. And the chickens absolutely love them. I mean, they love them. And we would take the skin off of one side of a pumpkin, and if you do that, it keeps the pumpkin from going bad quicker. Keep it, and they'll eat it inside out, and the only thing that's left when they're done is the skin. They will not eat the skin. So if you don't peel some skin off to get them started, they won't just peck in and go through the skin. They really they don't like it. It must be bitter, but it's the greatest dewormer for animals. Absolutely. Um, so yeah, and I do have some sunflower and pumpkin seeds that I think that's what I'm going to do because I can allow it to spread. I have enough room for it to spread because I'll have to plant it in containers though because my ground has so much hard clay. That's why it didn't do well last year, and so everything's going to have to be raised beds or containers up there now. I just can't, you know, I can't dig through that at all. Couldn't. Um, yeah, and I like pumpkin too. One of the pumpkin is pumpkin pie, uh, pumpkin. So I bet that tastes really good. I don't even think it has the pumpkin shape. It's a little bit different. Um, so yeah, I'll have to get my pumpkin seeds out one day. But like I said, some of that stuff is packed up. We're in the middle of demo in the kitchen. You know, definitely I need to get that done. So I don't have a lot of room or time to do garden because garden takes me 3 or 4 hours a day sometimes. You work a little in the evening, you work a little in the morning, you know. Pumpkin, yes, pumpkin pie one is small. Yes. It's not one of the jack-o'-lanterns are the great old big ones, and there's some names of pumpkins that I've never heard of. Never heard of them. So yeah. So she sent me some pumpkin seeds. She sent a bunch of people pumpkin seeds, but Sandy's just a wonderful lady. She lives in Wyoming half a year. She lives in Arizona half a year, and that's a lot of work every 6 months moving. And I don't know if I would do that, but maybe they just don't like the cold winters up in Wyoming. It gets pretty cold up there, and Arizona gets really hot because I lived there 2 years. I know exactly how Arizona is. Um, yes, zombie prepper year in July. That's the month that we all. I'm in zone 8A. Um, so that's when I usually. So I have just a couple of weeks, and I got to get them. Go ahead and get them uh, ready. But I'll have to put wire hardware screens over the top of those containers until they start coming up because of the dead blame squirrels. Oh my gosh. Because they'll go out and I mean, when I planted peanuts up there, they ate all my peanuts. The squirrels ate them all, dug every one of them up. And when I planted loofahs along the fence line, ate them all. Ate every one of them. Um, let's see. Claudette says, "Big job though, great results." Yes, it is a big job, but at least if we have a fresh market. Once a month that we can go and set up, and it's going to be more often. They're building a permanent place for us in our county now, and what I can't sell there, my animals can eat them. So I mean, I like watermelon too. We grew up on watermelon more than we did pumpkins, I think. And but it's a little bit too sweet for me right now, so I'm not eating watermelon right now. But oh my gosh, nothing like watermelon rind preserves, right? They were like candy to us. I guess that was our candy because we didn't have chocolate bars or anything. Um, none at all. Gummy says 6 months in Arizona is good, so you can do DMV and other bins, or and it's cheaper. The DMV, is that Department of Motor Vehicle? Is that what you're saying? Claudette is in 6B. Oh my gosh, your growing season is really short. Susan Gotcha have tried and tried to grow watermelon over the years, never been able to must not have the right soil. You know what? I tried the sugar babies 2 or 3 years in a row, and they did not do well. And I was raising them in containers. Watermelon rind sounds good. Nancy says, yes, I love the watermelon rind. Because we didn't, back then, people now, they'll, they'll trash a watermelon rind. Well, I just throw it out to the chickens and the ducks, and the pigs will eat them, and the all the animals will eat them. So we have to take turns if we don't have. As a matter of fact, my husband will go out, and if he finds a good buy, he'll go out and buy one for every pen, so they'll have a treat. The same thing with the pumpkins, except I found that really great buy last year. I couldn't believe I found them for $1 a piece. And some of those things, they were like that big. They were so big I couldn't hardly lift them, but I made good work out of them. I have a video of him. I had him in my car. He just about croaked when he found out that I had 30 watermelons in my back seat of my car. They, I mean, they were more than the back seat. They were all in my car. So yeah, watermelon jelly. Yes, Susan, that stuff is so good. So, when I get my new kitchen together, I won't, if even if I don't grow it and you can go to a fresh market where there's a farmer there, then I can take theirs and, make it. Freeze dried watermelon is good too. I don't have a freeze dryer, and you know, right now it's a little above my uh, needs. I needed a refrigerator and a stove and dishwasher more to fill up my kitchen. So I guess that's on my list of things that one day I might be able to get. But with Kathy getting from a Living Miracle Homestead, for y'all that know her, she just got her freeze dryer and she's doing all kinds of testing. Uh, so yeah, I would love to have some freeze dried. I would like to do some eggs. I saw one of the channels, and I can't recall the name, but I saw them do eggs, and um, may have been a dehydrator, but it was a really nice one. It was one of those with the big long trays. It wasn't the little small one, round ones. She scrambled those eggs up and she dehydrated them, and then they were powder. So then she had powdered eggs. We grew up on powdered eggs. That was, part of growing up in the 60s and 70s. They said that's what I did with my stimulus money, bought a Harvest Right freeze dryer. Good for you. That's a great thing to do. A lot of people blew it on things uh, that they didn't have anything to show for it. It was given to us, and you know, you're supposed to buy things that you were supposed to, you know, help you, things that you needed. So you did a great thing when you bought it. That's good stuff. I have some FD eggs. Send me your address and I will send you some. Really? I, you know, that's what we grew up on when after our dad passed away when we were just babies. I think I was 8, but that we had 2 younger siblings. One of them was only 3 years old. So my mom did have to go on public assistance for a few years because she had no income. She had nothing. She didn't even have a driver's license. She didn't hadn't even finished 6th grade. So, but we absolutely love the powdered milk and the powdered eggs and the cheese and the rice and the beans. That's when they gave out stuff that you could really live on instead of junk you could go and buy at the grocery store. Oh yeah, don't get me started on that soapbox. That's one of my things. I don't want to be behind somebody that's wasting their food stamps on things that, are trash. Basically, they're not staples and there's nothing that's going to help them get through a day, chips and, you know, and they I don't know. I shouldn't even start talking about that. I will go if you have an email address on your about page. I have one on my about page. As a matter of fact, yeah, I don't have my address, but I have my email address. Um, we'll get together. I would love to try some again. Yeah, one day I would like to have a freeze dryer. So, that's one of those things at the bottom of my want list or my need list. But it's still let's see. Gummy says we paid. the taxes on the stimulus with the stimulus money. Freeze dried eggs, you scramble them up and dry great powdered eggs. Yeah. Oh, all your eggs are quail eggs, healthier for you. Yes, and I know that because my youngest son raises the quail, and he knows all about how he knows the percentage of how much the quail eggs are more healthier than the actual chicken eggs. Um, they're a big difference. People would be really surprised, but they're only that little, you know. And he has a special knife, scissors. He has this special quail scissors. You know about that? And it's very sharp. And he can cut the tops off of those. And I boiled up a bunch one time and peeled them. Oh my gosh, it took me forever to peel those little eggs, but I did it. Um, and I can't remember. I think he made egg salad out of them, or we pickled them. We might have pickled them. That's what it was. Well, we pickled them, but it takes a long time to get the shells off them if you don't have anything special to do that with. Um, but quail eggs are the healthiest egg out there. Definitely. Claudette says, stay in the outer aisles of the grocery store. Absolutely, Claudette. And the reason I know that is our oldest brother, Jack. He owned a grocery store for 40 years. And he always said, never shop in the center aisles of the grocery stores if you don't have to. Always go to the outer edges. That's where your healthier food is at. And, because if you think about it, that's where the meat's at, that's where the vegetables are at. Um, these are whole foods, you know. Definitely. Yes, I know about the cancer doctors do. They'll tell chemo patients if they can get um that if they can tolerate the quail eggs that they're healthier for them. Yes, I knew that. Not a lot of people do know that they're so much healthier. You think because 'cause they're so tiny. I mean, they're not much bigger than a marble, and, I help him collect the eggs sometimes when he has to go overnight or something. I'll go down and feed his birds, and he he, uh, he sent quail eggs all the way to New England, not New England, to England, um, all over the United States, but he has sent, hatching eggs everywhere. Uh, Bases, my eggs weigh 12 to 20 grams. Yeah. And, you know, if you have access to a turkey egg, to a chicken egg, and to a bantam and a quail egg, there's a big difference in all of those. But unless it's a hummingbird egg, which I've never seen, but you know, all of these eggs are really just it's kind of amazing. And occasionally we'll get a double yolker, and it's kind of fun to open it up, and I've had people say, "Oh, well, try to hatch those." They don't hatch. One of them may be fertile if they're with the rooster, but they would never survive because, they that egg yolk is part of how they live for those 21 days. And if there's two yolks in there, there's not any room for a chick. And so yeah, and there would be one chick that probably would just, it's not a good situation. They say never, if you have a double one, don't even try to hatch it. Never. Bob whites weigh 5 to 9 grams. Oh, we have the bob whites. And vases, I had a 24-gram egg once. It had a complete egg inside of a complete egg. Yeah, I've had that with the chicken egg before. I've had an egg inside of an egg, and I'm thinking, why is this chicken egg so large? I didn't have turkeys at the time, so I knew it wasn't a turkey egg, but it was the size of a turkey egg, but it had an egg inside of it with a shell. It's like, yeah. So it's kind of crazy, but I mean, it happens. It's an anomaly, and usually it's caused by stress or something. Um, something unusual for the hen. But yeah, it's kind of an interesting thing. A complete egg, an egg and an egg. And it's nothing that we can make happen. I mean, it's a fluke and it happens occasionally, but you could never guess it was happening. You know, you don't know it until it's here. It's not something you could duplicate or cause to happen. So yeah. Well, gosh, guys, I've run over time again. That's a double egg. Wow. I love turkey eggs and duck eggs also. Yes, duck eggs are the best for baking. And I know quite a few people who like to eat them, but they're a little bit richer for me. I would rather eat a chicken egg. And I like the quail eggs too, especially if they're pickled. I love pickled ones. I could just pop them in my mouth and eat them. Um, Oh, every time you get a strange egg, you weigh it and then you crack it open. Yes, babe, that's exactly right. Because you never know. I mean, it's like in our nature. It's like I got to see what's in it now, and you have to weigh it first because you got to be able to take a picture of it because you got to be able to prove to somebody you had it right because some will go, no way, you didn't have that. So you've got to be able to have proof that yes, you did have it. Susan says, my husband buys Oakdale Farm jumbo eggs for in the last month. We have gotten at least 7 double yolkers per dozen of eggs, and every our egg carton we bought. Yeah, some people, their hens are actually double yolkers. They lay them all the time. Hey, Joy, Smoky Mountain Bless, nice to see you. I've been in the background listening while multitasking. Have a good day, everyone. Linda, thank you so much, Joy. Well, we multitask all the time, all the time. Um, so that is just an interesting egg fact, that about the double yolker. And some of you may, if you've never raised chickens, may not know that when a pullet is born, hatched, she has an egg cluster in her body, and it is predetermined for her lifetime how many eggs she's going to lay. She has, and some of them may be only tiny little dots, but as each one of those eggs get developed, then it drops off or breaks off, and that's what causes the blood spot or meat spot, some of them call it. So yes, it is. It's predetermined. That's right. That whatever she lays, that's exactly. I mean, she may be a breed that lays every day, and she may have 1,000 egg clusters. But I'd learned that in poultry class when I first started keeping chickens. But I found it really interesting. And then you have some that only lay once a week, and so they just don't. But if they're double yolk layers, that means that their egg lifespan is going to be cut. Um, if they lay as many double yolkers as they do single, then their egg laying is cut down tremendously. So that's kind of a interesting thing that I found. Same as humans, yes, they same. So I guess I'll let you guys go. I I have a couple of things to say next week, and I'll save them for next week since I've already run over quite a bit. Um, what my dog experienced this week, it could have been bad. So, and hopefully in the next day or so, I'm pretty sure, Tink, she is my little myotonic um, goat. I'm pretty sure she's carrying triplets, and it could be quads. She has had triplets before, but I last year I had 3 sets of quads on the farm. The year before I only had 1 set of quads, not from her, but from other um, Nigerians and my tonic. So who knows how many babies she's going to have? But I'll put a video out, and if I can catch it happening, some of y'all may not want to see that because it can get kind of gross. But if I can catch it when it's happening, I will definitely videotape it. It's quite amazing to see a new life born. but that's coming up. I'm hoping. So y'all all have a good day, a good week, and those who are getting some bad weather, take care. I'm one of them, and we'll see you on the next one, unless we have something happen that y'all need to see. So see ya. Y'all all be good. I appreciate you so much coming in. Hit that thumbs up on your way out. That's right. Thank you. It was great chatting with you. Oh, thank you, Claudette. I'm glad you're back. I'm glad you're feeling better. I know I'm getting a little better at life chats. I've been doing them for a year now, and I was so scared the first 6 months I did them. Now it's like just sitting talking to friends. Thank you so much. I'm glad you came, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.